This is 101 ESPN from Super Bowl 46 in Indianapolis. Brought to you by Appliance Solutions, American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning, and Ryan Kelly, the home loan expert.
My friend, our friend, St. Louis's friend always, Dick Vermeil with us here on 101 ESPN. The coach is, Coach, first of all, it's without sounding corny, whenever you join us, even if it's on the phone, but especially to see you, it's sunshine because
Thank you.
Does this make any sense to you at all? As the years go by, you're even more appreciated. Not to suggest you weren't appreciated before, but that team that won the Super Bowl, so special, and as time marches on, it's even more special. And I think because a lot of it's because the Rams have had some hard times. And when you go through those hard times, when you were on the top of the mountain, it becomes it's even more special. So
I understand.
It's always great to see because it brings back wonderful memories.
Well,
number
thank
one.
you. Nice to be with you. We spent 3 tough years together, and we had some fun. I remember the last night I was in town. We all went out to dinner at Canetto's.
We did go to Canetto's. I did.
Yeah, our wives, and we had a wonderful evening. And it's fun. I love coming back to St. Louis now in the wine business. Obviously, I made a mistake in leaving, and I was fortunate to get a job to go back into coaching. But I love going back in on wine business.
Well, you got to help us. So maybe you move to town. You help us keep the Rams in town. You were asking me how everything's gone in St. Louis. I said everybody's anxious because they're not sure what Stan Kroenke's going to do. And I'm trying to say, hey, look, you know what? This is a process.
Yeah.
Business people make deals. They try to get what they can. And no need to panic. But
I don't think so. And the other thing is St. Louis has to realize that they have a responsibility too. It isn't all on Stan Kroenke. Otherwise you don't draw up contracts that have statements in them that guarantee certain things. And I think Stan Kroenke's the kind of guy, if he sees the commitment being made to do what the contract says you have to do, or even come close and negotiate it and make it work, it'll be work. I can't see him in the frame of mind that he'd want to move.
And I hope you're right. And I think that he wants to stay more than most people realize, but he's just not going to.
Well, you're never going to hear that from them because he's not a big public guy. He's a very private man, private thinker, and I think a wonderful human being.
Well, and he was a part of the championship in 1999 as well.
No question.
It's so funny all these years later. Again, Super Bowl 34, which was one of the great games I've ever watched, and I'm sure obviously one of the great games you've ever been a part of. And now Jeff Fisher is going to be the coach of the Rams, the guy that your team narrowly defeated that day. And your thoughts on Jeff Fisher?
Well, I like Jeff. Okay, I knew him when he was in high school.
Really?
Yeah, I lived right above Taft High School. He was a so I've known him for a long time, and I watched him play in high school. One time I was recruiting another player that he was playing against. He went to USC, but anyway, so I really got to know him in coaching and owners meetings. Played golf with him. And he's a wine guy. He's a hunter, and he's a good football coach. And people have asked me a lot since it happened in St. Louis, and they say, "Coach, what do you think?" And I says, "Well, if you remember right, I was out of the league for 14 years and came back. He's only been out 1 year, and I think he will get it up and running good again a lot quicker than I did." And now I'm not going to say he's going to the playoffs at first or anything else, but he knows what he's doing. He's bright. He's a hard worker. He's a good communicator. He's a good leader. He'll surround himself with people that'll help him do it. But the organization has to make sure they give him the tools. They fired a good football coach. The last 2 guys can coach. They've proved that. But so there's other reasons they're losing. Why do they not have good enough personnel? Why do they not have enough depth in the roster? Somebody has to stand and be held responsible for that. That's all. Not just the coach.
I completely agree. That's been their biggest deficiency.
Yeah.
Their drafts, some of their free agent signings just haven't produced enough good players.
Or maybe they haven't signed some guys that they should have signed because somebody didn't want to spend the money to. You never know what it is.
One thing about Dick Vermeil is with us. You know his voice, but just to remind you, listen to 101 ESPN, Coach Vermeil with us. One thing about Jeff Fisher that he's done that I like that reminds me of when you took over is that you assembled a terrific coaching staff. And I don't want to even start naming them because I'll leave someone out, which would be disrespectful. But I'll never forget the photo of all you guys standing together.
Yeah.
It's like you rounded up the old gang.
Senior citizens.
but he's done along the same lines. Bringing Greg Williams in and people that he knows in the business. Right. And a head coach is important, but if you don't have good assistants, man, it's
Bernie,
it's harder.
More today than even then, I realize this. High commanding leadership positions is a shared leadership responsibility. You've got to share it with people that know what you know. You've got to share it with people that know more than what you know.
Right.
You can't know it all.
Right.
A good leaders hire people that cover areas that they don't have time to become efficient in, you know, and then give the credit to them.
It's always a pleasure. It's good to see Tom Ward too. So, and again, thanks for all you did. Thanks for
Thank you.
Thanks for 99.
Take care.
All right, that's the great Dick Vermeil here on 101 ESPN.